What's going on, guys? It's Pete Nova from the Face Off Sports Network. I am back with my Week 11 defensive streamers to target to help you win your fantasy football matchups. I really like the streamers this week. This is probably one of my favorite weeks so far when it comes to taking a look at the streamers available that are 25% owned or less. Last week, we gave out the Rams, who are our second favorite defense on the week, 6.7% owned heading into the week. They finished ninth. That brings our streak to 10 straight weeks. So every week this season, we've had a defense 25% owned or less finish inside the top 9 this season. Before that, it was top 7, but the Rams pushed us into top 9. So let's just jump right into my first defense. It's going to be the Rams taking on the New England Patriots. You know, the Rams are around 17% owned right now, and I really love this matchup. You know, we get the away team, so we don't get the home team, but we do get a low point total, 43 points. And, you know, if you were talking to me on Twitter and, you know, you've heard me speak, this Rams defense has gotten better every single week, and they were a good stash. You know, I mean, last week they were our best defense last week that we gave out, and they're my favorite defense this week. They feel like they have a smash matchup here, the most upside of the 3 defenses that I'm giving out today. But let's just jump a little bit into why I like this matchup. You know, since week 6, they've been one of the best defenses in the NFL, 3rd in total EPA. You can see them in the top right corner of the chart here. And then when you look at their rush EPA and dropback EPA, they're top 5 as well in that category. You know, coming into Monday night versus the Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa had only been sacked more than 1 time in a single game this year, and the Rams were able to sack him 3 times, get a lot of pressure on him. This defense, you know, is second in pressure rate at 41% on the season, and you know, the Pats are 31st when it comes to passing versus pressure. You know, Drake May, young quarterback, can do things with his legs, and don't get me wrong, I like Drake May a lot. This offensive line and this offense in general is just not doing him many favors right now, and I think many expected that. But second in pressure rate going up against an offense that's 31st at passing against the pressure, and May is taking 2.5 sacks per game. He's had some games where he's taken 4 sacks, so that's definitely possible in the cards here. And the Pats are 9th worst in EPA since May took over, which is actually slightly better than Jacoby Brissett. But like I said, you know, this is a defense that I feel like has the most upside of the defenses that I give out today. Let's move over to our second defense. It's going to be the Houston Texans taking on Dallas. You know, Houston Texans have been good to us this year, 24.2% owned across fantasy formats. You know, we've came back to this well a few times this season. And, you know, we get the away team, but it is a low point total. So similar to the Rams, you know, low point total and away team, they're 42% in terms of implied total. That's the 3rd lowest total on the week. This is a high floor with upside. So, you know, I feel like there's probably more chance for chaos in that Rams Patriots game than this game. You know, but I think there is upside and it provides a high floor. You know, Dallas's offense, you know, since week 6 is the worst in the NFL, which I thought was actually pretty surprising. You know, I mean, I know this offense has been bad, but they've been worse than the Raiders. And so, you know, when you look at them at the bottom left of the chart here, you know, this Dallas offense, that was with Dak Prescott. You know, now you have Cooper Rush, who, if you look at this chart, that's where they were this week when they had Cooper Rush in week 10, and, you know, extremely far down. They were the worst offense in the NFL last week as well. And they took on a good defense, but the Houston Texans are a good defense. And, you know, Cooper Rush last week he completed 13 passes, 43 yards. 43 yards. He took 1 sack. That's why I say that this defense is a higher floor with upside, because I don't know that Cooper Rush is going to make a ton of mistakes, but he might not make a lot of things happen. He might be conservative and safe with the football ish. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and not make mistakes, but I feel like there's more room for mistakes in that Rams-Patriots game than this game. Cooper Rush, like I said, 13 passes for 43 yards. He was checking the ball down the entire game. That's close to like 2.5 yards per completion. Texans are fifth best defense since week 6. We'll pull them up here in the chart, but you can see them right there. Since week 6, fifth in EPA. They're also number 1 in pressure rate, and fifth best defense when it comes to pass efficiency. So, they're not allowing offenses to be very efficient against them, and they're 13th best in terms of rushing defense efficiency. So, if Dallas thinks that they can run the ball to take pressure off Cooper Rush, this Rams defense is in the top third when it comes to rush defense as well. So I really like this matchup as well. My third and final one is going to be probably more for, if the two defenses aren't available and some of the other defenses that aren't streamers this week aren't available as well. It's going to be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Raiders. I think this is more of a high floor play. The upside is not there as much as it was for the other two defenses, but we get a home team, which we love. And we get a slightly below medium point total at 44.5 points. Dolphins defense is middle of the pack. They're not doing anything amazing. Here they are in EPA. So they're middle of the pack in EPA. Expectations aren't high. But the matchup is really good. And, streaming defenses, like, you're not always going to get the ones that are most coveted that people want. And so this is more of a fallback if you miss out on the first two, but go with your gut. If you like the Dolphins this week over these other two, then go ahead and start the Dolphins. But Raiders are the second worst offense, and I probably don't even have to tell you this, second worst offense since week 6 in EPA. And, Dolphins are 10th when it comes to pressure rate, and the Raiders give up the 5th most in the NFL. Raiders have to get it done in the passing game, and Dolphins have a slight advantage there as well. It's not significant, but Raiders are 26th when it comes to pass efficiency, and the Dolphins are 21st when it comes to pass efficiency allowed. So they have the edge there. And then when it comes to running the football, if you think, okay, well, the Raiders can maybe just lean on Alexander Madison or Zamir White, they're the worst rushing efficient team in the NFL, and the Dolphins are 10th best versus the rush. So it's a really good matchup. I like the Dolphins, don't get me wrong. I prefer the other two, but I could be swayed into starting the Dolphins over one of them. But that would be my order, would go Rams, Texans, and the Dolphins. All of them are 25% owned or less across fantasy formats. But thank you so much for your support, guys. If you have any questions, like always, drop them into the comment section below. Hit me up on Twitter as well if you have questions there. I'm more accessible there. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.